Malala Yousafzai. 1. Early life and family background. 2. The rise of the Taliban in Swat Valley. 3. The BBC Diary and early activism. 4. The attack, October 9, 2012. 5. The Malala Fund and continued advocacy. 6. Nobel Peace Prize and global acclaim. 7. Life at Oxford and beyond. 8. Personal life and public perception. 9. Legacy and lasting impact. 10. Conclusion. A voice for the voiceless. 1. Early life and family background. Malala Yousafzai was born on July 12, 1997, in Mingora, the largest city in the Swat Valley, located in the northwestern region of Pakistan. She was born into a Pashtun family with strong cultural and linguistic traditions. Her father, Zodin Yousafzai, was a teacher, poet, and social activist, deeply committed to education and civic rights. Her mother, Churpikaya Yousafzai, was a homemaker with strong spiritual values and traditional Pashtun beliefs. From the beginning, Malala's father treated her as an equal, despite the conservative customs of their region, which often limited women's roles to the domestic sphere. Zodin, who ran a private chain of schools, encouraged Malala to explore education and public speaking. Named after Malala of Maiwand, a Pashtun folk heroine, Malala grew up believing in the power of words and knowledge. Mingora was a peaceful and scenic town during Malala's early childhood, popular with tourists and known for its cultural richness. However, the region would later fall under the oppressive rule of the Taliban, drastically altering the course of Malala's life. 2. The rise of the Taliban in Swat Valley. The Taliban, led by Maulana Fazlullah, began asserting control over the Swat Valley around 2007. Under their regime, strict interpretations of Sharia law were imposed. Schools were shut down, particularly girls' schools. Television, music, and other forms of entertainment were banned. Public floggings and executions became common. By 2009, the Taliban had destroyed hundreds of schools and issued edicts forbidding girls from receiving an education. For many in Swat, this marked the end of normal life. But for Malala, then just 11 years old, it marked the beginning of a courageous and defiant stand for justice and learning. Her father's example gave her the confidence to speak out. When many were silenced by fear, Malala decided to use her voice to resist oppression. 3. The BBC Diary and early activism. In 2009, Malala began writing an anonymous blog for BBC Urdu under the pseudonym Gul Makai. The blog chronicled her life under Taliban rule and the closing of schools for girls. Her writings provided a rare and powerful insight into life in a war-torn region from the perspective of a child. Her entries, simple yet poignant, discussed fears of going to school, bombings in her neighborhood, and the general anxiety of living under constant threat. These posts gained national and international attention, bringing the crisis in Swat to the forefront. Soon, her identity was revealed. She began appearing on national TV and speaking at public events advocating for girls' education. In 2009, a New York Times documentary about Malala and her father further elevated her global profile. At just 12 years old, she had become the face of resistance to the Taliban's brutality. 4. The attack, October 9, 2012. As her prominence grew, so did the danger. The Taliban viewed Malala's activism as a direct threat to their authority. On October 9, 2012, while riding a school bus with her friends, a Taliban gunman boarded the vehicle and asked, "Who is Malala?" He then shot her in the head at point-blank range, with the bullet traveling through her head and neck and lodging in her shoulder. The attack sparked international outrage. Global leaders, human rights activists, and ordinary citizens condemned the shooting. Vigils were held around the world. The Pakistani government flew Malala to the United Kingdom for emergency treatment. Despite the severity of her injuries, Malala survived. She underwent multiple surgeries, including skull reconstruction and rehabilitation in Birmingham, England. Her recovery was slow but steady and ultimately triumphant. 5. The Malala Fund and continued advocacy. Malala's attempted assassination marked a turning point. Rather than silencing her, it amplified her message. With support from her father and international partners, she co-founded the Malala Fund in 2013, a nonprofit organization that advocates for 12 years of free, quality education for every girl worldwide. The fund operates across several countries, including Nigeria, India, Afghanistan, and Brazil. It works with grassroots organizations, provides grants, and influences public policy to support education in conflict zones and underserved areas. Malala's advocacy has taken her around the world, speaking at the United Nations, meeting with world leaders, and participating in global development summits. Her core message has remained consistent: education is a human right and a necessary foundation for peace and prosperity. In 2013, she published her best-selling memoir, I Am Malala, the girl who stood up for education and was shot by the Taliban. The book humanized her struggle and further expanded her influence. 6. Nobel Peace Prize and global acclaim. In 2014, at the age of 17, Malala became the youngest ever recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, which she shared with Kailash Satyarthi, an Indian activist fighting child labor. The Nobel Committee praised their struggle against the suppression of children and young people and for the right of all children to education. The award cemented her status as a global moral leader. Time magazine named her one of the world's most influential people multiple times. She was awarded honorary citizenship in Canada, and countless streets, schools, and libraries were named in her honor. Despite her fame, Malala remained grounded. She often said she wanted to be remembered as a normal girl who fought for the rights of others, not a hero or saint. 7. Life at Oxford and beyond. In 2017, Malala was accepted to the University of Oxford, one of the world's most prestigious institutions. She studied philosophy, politics, and economics PP at Lady Margaret Hall and graduated in 2020. Her time at Oxford was marked by a blend of academic pursuit and continued activism. Though she embraced student life, she also remained deeply involved in the Malala Fund and frequently spoke at global conferences, on events, and educational forums. Malala used her platform to advocate for refugee education, digital learning, climate justice, and gender equality. She collaborated with young activists globally and remained active on social media, reaching millions with her message of hope and perseverance. 8. Personal life and public perception. In November 2021, Malala married Asir Malik, a Pakistani cricket official, in a small ceremony in Birmingham. Her marriage marked a personal milestone and sparked discussions in the media about balancing tradition with modern values, something Malala has consistently navigated throughout her life. While Malala is celebrated globally, her perception in Pakistan is more complex. Many Pakistanis view her as a national hero and role model. However, others, influenced by misinformation or political skepticism, question her motives or criticize her for allegedly promoting Western ideologies. Malala has always addressed these tensions with grace, emphasizing that her mission is not to divide, but to unite through shared human values: education, dignity, and justice. 9. Legacy and lasting impact. Malala Yousafzai's legacy is multifaceted and enduring. She has changed how the world sees the struggle for girls' education and shown that youth can lead powerful movements for social change. Her impact can be measured in policy shifts around education and gender rights, increased global funding for girls' education-powered youth activists, especially girls in conflict zones. Perhaps most importantly, Malala has inspired millions young and old to speak out, resist injustice, and believe in their ability to shape the world. Her story has been adapted into documentaries, books, and classroom curricula. The undeclared July 12th as Malala Day, a tribute to her birthday and her global campaign for education. 10. Conclusion: a voice for the voiceless. Malala Yousafzai embodies the power of resilience, the strength of education, and the necessity of moral courage. Shot for daring to dream, she chose not vengeance, but voice; not fear, but faith in humanity's potential. Her journey from a schoolgirl in Swat to a global icon reminds us that change does not require age, wealth, or status. It requires conviction. As she once told the United Nations, "One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world." Malala has not just survived history, she has made it. And her story continues to be written in the classrooms, policies, and hearts she has touched across the globe. Thanks for listening.